the United States is seeking the maximum penalty from Don Blankenship. You'll recall Don Blankenship was the CEO of Massey Energy. He was found guilty of conspiracy to violate mine safety laws. And that conspiracy led to the death of 29 men in 2010. Now, somebody please tell me why conspiracy to violate mine safety laws, which is a conspiracy that pretty much can only be done by white-collar criminals, by executives. Why is this a misdemeanor? 29 men died, and he's looking at a maximum of 1 year in jail. The Assistant U.S. Attorney Steve Ruby, in an 11-page court filing, this was Monday night of this week, wrote, and I quote, "What punishment can suffice for wrongdoing so monstrous?" He said, the United States knows of no other case where a major company's CEO has been convicted of a crime against worker protection laws, so direct reference points are difficult to come by, but compare this crime with others seen more regularly. Which is worse, a poor, uneducated man who sells drugs because he sees no other opportunity, or a multimillionaire executive at the pinnacle of his power who decides to subject his workers to a daily game of Russian roulette? That would be Don Blankenship. Which is worse, that young man carrying a gun during a single drug deal, a crime that will earn him a 5-year mandatory minimum prison sentence, or a CEO jeopardizing the lives of hundreds of people day after day? Which is worse, stealing money or trampling on laws that protect human life? In each case, to ask the question is to answer it. Under any fair assessment, only a sentence of many years in prison can truly reflect the seriousness of the defendant's crime and provide just punishment, which the law requires the court to do. This is just amazing. Don Blankenship getting his, but and then on top of this, now we've got this criminal justice reform thing, and it looks like the Democrats and Republicans are actually getting together on this. And I'm all in favor of criminal justice reform. The idea of doing away with minimum mandatories, of giving federal judges judicial discretion, all judges, frankly, judicial discretion, juries, giving them discretion, doing away with, the whole idea that legislatures are going to establish mandatory minimum sentences. I mean, I understand maximum sentences, but minimum sentences are taking away the discretion of a judge or a jury to figure out what's appropriate in a case. And that discretion is important. But the thing that I find very troubling is this mens rea thing that, one of the Koch brothers front groups have been pushing that would have made it even harder to prosecute Don Blankenship, I believe, because mens rea is Latin for state of mind. And basically what they're saying is, okay, if we want to change the law so that if you're going to prosecute a white-collar criminal, an executive, especially a CEO, for decisions that they made that led to the death of people or led to any other horrible crime, if you're going to prosecute that person, you have to prove that they actually intended for that outcome to happen, that their state of mind was malicious, that their state of mind was filled with malice, that their state of mind was that the Don Blankenship, when he started cutting back on mine safety rules in order to inflate his own salary and make more money for his company, that you would have to prove under the so-called criminal justice reform, if the mens rea part gets embedded in this, that he actually intended for 29 people to die. And of course, that's almost never the case, any more than when a drunk driver gets in his car, he intends to run over some little kid as he's driving through the neighborhood. But the fact of the matter is that if you're a drunk driver and you run over a little kid and kill him, you are guilty of manslaughter and or worse, because you made the decision to get in the car drunk. And you should have known that one of the outcomes, one of the many possible outcomes, one of the most probable outcome for most drunk drivers is that they make it home safely. But the occasional outcome is that you kill somebody or yourself. And but the kill somebody part. And I'm really concerned that we're seeing a bipartisan compromise here. And I'm feeling like Teddy Kennedy back in 1980, I guess it was, or whatever the year was that he blew up. No, it was before that. It was when Richard Nixon was president. It would have been 72, I think. When Nixon rolled out his, basically it was Obamacare. Nixon rolled out a plan to offer national health insurance that was provided through health insurance companies. And it was virtually identical to Obamacare. And Teddy Kennedy fought it because it was not single payer. It wasn't perfect. And the result was that we had to wait 20, 30 years before Obamacare came along. And it's still not perfect, but, it's a great step. And I'm, I find myself just, agonizing over this thing because I want criminal justice reform. I want hundreds of thousands of people who should not be in jail to be let out tomorrow. And I want these laws changed. But I don't want to give a get-out-of-jail card to the billionaires. It's a tough one.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 202-536-2370.
And that's basically the price that the Republicans are saying. If you want to have criminal justice reform and let poor black people out of jail, you're going to have to stop prosecuting rich white people.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.